All right, everybody. So I've had some time to think about it. And as you guys may or may not know, we got the big announcement yesterday about the Knuckles TV show. But I'm starting to kind of feel as if this show is a giant missed opportunity. And before we get into the discussion, we want to just have a regular discussion about this. Before we get into all this, though, please keep in mind that one, this is just opinionated. Two, the show isn't out yet. So there still is time for the show to prove everybody's expectations wrong. There's still time for Paramount to cook. We can't really judge the show fully based off of the information that we have, but we could definitely make opinions and inferences based off of the information we have because we already have a plot synopsis as well as the casting information. So just keep all this in mind. This is not set in stone. This is not my final opinion. Just want to make that known. So before we get into everything, guys, please subscribe to the channel right now and drop notifications and a thumbs up. I'll give you a second to do that. All right, hopefully you guys did all that, so let's get right into everything. So yes, as I stated before, I think the brand new Knuckles show may be a missed opportunity, and I'm not the only one that thinks this. There's a lot of sentiment growing on Sonic Twitter right now that the plot of the show sounds kind of mid. Now, just to recap the plot for those of you who hadn't even heard about the show, I'm sure there's someone in the comments that has no idea what I'm talking about. The Knuckles TV show was announced yesterday by the Sonic the Hedgehog movie Twitter. This is going to be airing on Paramount Plus, and is it a spin-off series starring Knuckles from the Sonic movie universe. One thing we do like, though, we do like the OVA hat right here. We got a logo and everything like that. It looks like they're finally starting to respect a little bit of the source material of the Sonic games. As you know, the Super Mario movie is going to make well over $1 billion, and they really respected the source material, although the argument is that the critics didn't like it as much. So there's a little bit of argument to be had there, but for the most part, the fans really love this movie and it's financially successful. And I think it's safe to say that this movie was an overwhelming success. One thing that the Sonic movies lacked, and one of the big thing of the discussion, is that it lacked a lot of source material. So it's good to see that they had that Easter egg in there, but this show looks like it has a huge missed opportunity with respect to the source material and making it more faithful to Sonic, and I'll explain. The plot synopsis of the show, for those of you real quick, just to catch you up to speed, says Knuckles agrees to train Wade, who's the cop. You guys know who he is. You guys see him right here. He's the sidekick from the Sonic movie. He's the cop. So he's going to be tagging along with Knuckles, and Knuckles is going to teach him the ways of an Echidna warrior. So that's the plot synopsis. And as you see right here, people are saying this is about to be some mid. This guy right here says, what Sonic fans expect? Knuckles investigate the origins of chaos. Rouge steals the Emerald. Chaotix cameo. What Sonic movie fans really need? Knuckles and Wade buddy sheriff adventure. This guy right here says Sonic movies barely add in source material at all. The Mario movie fully embraced the fact that it was a Mario movie. This is why Sonic 3 ultimately is going to fail. They're just making a kiddie movie with Sonic character and a couple references slapped in. This guy right here says the entirety of the first film was a buddy cop movie. This is literally the last thing that we need. This guy right here says, oh, this will be really mid, won't it? This person says, hopefully this will be the plot for a single episode. And this guy is kind of alluding to what I think. He says, not gonna lie, I would have preferred a prequel, but I guess this could explain Knuckles' story. Probably, I don't know. We'll have to see about that. We're even starting to see some sentiment where this is spilling over to people not liking movie Sonic, says he's the least accurate adaptation of the character. This person says, why y'all being so mean to him out of nowhere? This person says he kind of sucks because he's literally a terrible iteration of Sonic down to even the design. They suck the edge and cool factor out of him visually. Movie Sonic literally isn't Sonic except in name. Listen, I don't like the movie Sonic slander. I love movie Sonic. The Sonic movies were really good. And even though I'm kind of getting into the discussion about the Knuckles show being a missed opportunity, doesn't mean it's going to be bad. It can still be great. I just want more Sonic lore, but we'll get into all that. Let's get into the discussion. So you guys see the sentiment on Twitter. A lot of people, I'd say majority are, at least the people that are voicing their opinions on Twitter, because Twitter can be a very loud place for a minority of people who don't represent the overall majority of what people think. But I think that there's some merit to the fact that this show might have some missed opportunity. And what I mean by that is there's a couple routes of how they could have taken this. One, they could have went the prequel route. The prequel route would have allowed them to have as much Sonic source material as possible. They could have made this a super creatively ambitious TV show with a lot of Sonic lore slapped in it without necessarily altering or impacting the plot of the movies going forward. So with a prequel, what are some things that they could include in it? Well, if you look at the official prequel comic for Sonic Movie 2, there's a lot of cool stuff that you see. You see other Anthros in the corner over here. You see the Chaotix. You see, if you guys look even closer, if you look right above my head, you see Vector and Espio. You see some other Anthro animals over here. And we also see Knuckles trapped in some type of arena area where he's like a challenger and he has to fight people. He says, if I'm the challenger, then who's the champion? You got Knuckles fighting this guy right here. Like, how cool would this have been to see in a prequel movie universe type show? We would have got to see a battle like this. We would have gotten to see that like bird tribe or whoever had Knuckles kidnapped. You could have thrown the Chaotix cameos. We could have maybe seen the origins of Rouge. We could have maybe figured out the origins of the Echidna tribe. The Echidna tribe was clearly prominent in Sonic Movie 2. They show a little bit of Knuckles' backstory, so we could have even seen that. Like, I think some more Knuckles-centric, like Knuckles-focused stuff would have been cool, which is obviously what they can do in the new show. And there's a couple ways they could have done that when we start talking about what they could do in new scenarios. But right now we're sticking to just prequel stuff. But I feel like they could have included a lot of actual Sonic source material in the prequel stuff just because it's already there. And two, they don't have to sacrifice what they've already built up or contradict anything because it's just a prequel. They could have been as creative as possible. They could have given Sonic fans everything. Like I said, we could have talked about his origins, how he got trapped, what he did in his homeworld. Like figuring out the origins of these characters would have been really cool because there is a lot of lore going on. We have the Long Claw tribe, the Echidna tribe. Like there's so many different avenues that they've like alluded to in some of the movies that could have made this the perfect way to introduce all those Sonic elements into the Sonic movie universe, which I think just offers a lot more creative flexibility. Now, here's the other side of the coin, and this seems to be the way that they're going, the post Sonic movie 2 route, which is we figure out what happens after the events of Sonic movie 2 when Knuckles becomes like brothers with Sonic and Tails and gets adopted by Maddie and Tom. So that's like the other route, and that's obviously the route that they're going. Now, I don't hate this. I don't think it's bad because I do want to figure out what happens after Sonic movie 2, especially when we saw the Sonic drone home short. Like I thought that was really cool. It's nice to see like the dynamic or just any information that we can get that advances the plot forward towards Sonic movie 3, which I think maybe this could do, or maybe it'll have no significant bearing at all. It's going to be a spin-off, so it's going to do its own thing. I don't know if it's going to have any significant bearing on the plot at all going forward for any of the new media or material going forward, especially with the movies. So it can still be good. There's still ways that they can incorporate some of the lore and some of the plot because they can still do flashbacks and stuff like that. There's still ways to tell Knuckles' story without it necessarily being set in the past. Like I said, they could do flashbacks. He's going to be training him in the ways of an Echidna warrior, so we could still see some Echidna lore with the post-Sonic movie 2 route, which is the one that they're going to be taking. So there's still a lot of ways they could take it. There's still a lot of creativity they can do. We can still let Paramount cook and tell a good story because listen, I like Wade as a character. I think he's funny. I think him and Knuckles' dynamic are going to be really cool. Knuckles was definitely a funny character, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot of comedic relief with this series. And maybe there's still a way for them to introduce Rouge or someone else, explain some of Knuckles' background into this story. But as of right now, as it currently stands with just what we have, with the limited information, which is always subject to change once this show actually comes out, I feel like we're currently sitting at a missed opportunity because I'm not sure if we're going to get any of that backstory or any actual Sonic lore that could be introduced into the movie universe. I don't know if we're going to get any origins of chaos. I don't know if we're going to get Rouge. I don't know if we're going to get the Chaotix. I don't know if we're going to get any Echidna tribe lore. It's still possible they can incorporate these elements into a post-Sonic movie 2 show. I have a feeling we're going to get more buddy cop type stuff. While I think it could still be good, the show can still be written well. It could still have a good plot. Like the show could have like zero Sonic elements and just be Knuckles and Wade have like a super funny dynamic and still be good. Like it doesn't need any of this stuff to actually be good. There's a lot of ways to judge media, but as far as being a Sonic fan goes, I think we really did miss out on the opportunity to see like really cool actual Sonic lore stuff into the movie universe in favor of Knuckles training some side character into being an Echidna warrior. So there's still a lot of things that can happen between now and when this show comes out. As of right now, as it stands today, I'm saying missed opportunity, but you guys let me know down below in the comments what you guys think. How do you think they're going to take this? Do you agree? Do you think it's a missed opportunity, or do you think we got to let them cook? I think both things can be true at once. So let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. I got nothing else to say to you, so until I see you next time, peace out.